Good afternoon. We'll call this June 15th meeting of the Planning and Environment Committee to order. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we can move on to the consent item, singular. Would anyone like to discuss this matter? Councillor Hopkins.
I'd just like to make a comment on number 2 with the holding provision being removed. I understand that this is obviously to move forward, but I do understand staff will be coming back with a report in a couple months to give us an update with the next phase of the development. So I just wanted to make that comment that we will be getting a report back.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further speakers? Seeing none, we'll take a motion on that. Moved by Councillor Cassidy, seconded by Councillor Hopkins, and we can open the vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
So colleagues, at a time in the meeting, as you may know, we'll be losing quorum, so I thought perhaps we could go on camera, discuss what we need to discuss, and come back, and perhaps there'll be more folks in the gallery when we return. So if we could take a motion to go in camera.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 4-0.
And colleagues will be in committee room 3. Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Well, that'll bring us to item number 3, the London Plan. And we'll take a motion to open the PPM. And that's up if someone would like to move it. Thank you, Councillor Hopkins, seconded by Mayor Brown. We'll open the vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 5-0.
Ms. McNeely.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to bring you up to a quick status from our meeting that we had presented back in February. As you know, that it's been this plan has been council adopted June 23rd, approved by the minister December 28th, and that we did receive 42 appeals back in January. But the good news is we now have a pre-hearing conference date. It's set for September 5th, so that's new information since we reported it out last February. In terms of the appeals, we also reported out to you previously that there are several appeals that challenge the various policies of the plan, including different broad parts of the policies, all the way down scope to site-specific appeals. Through that, we are, as staff in coordination with legal services, holding without prejudice meetings with the appellants and subject experts. And the intent is to clarify and refine the extent of and the nature of the appeals. We're also hoping to reduce and scope the appeals and identify possible opportunities to resolve these appeals. And you will be hearing from a report from legal services, hopefully in July, regarding the potential amendments to resolve some of these appeals and other related matters. Getting back to the pre-hearing conference that's scheduled on September 5th, there's two parts to what we're trying to be prepared for on September 5th, and the first being the materials that we want to have considered by the board on the following matters. And this would be a package going forward. And there's three main areas, being the proposed housekeeping modifications for recommendation to the OMB. And this is what the report you have in front of you this evening, as well as to scope the issues and identify opportunities for resolution and develop a draft issues list to be adjudicated at the board. And then another important part of the pre-hearing conference is that to confirm those parts of the plans that are actually in full force and effect. So the purpose of the report that you have in front of you this evening are proposed changes to the London Plan. And they're organized into three main categories for your consideration this evening. The first part are the council approved official plan amendments that have been adopted since June 23rd of last year. The second being a council-approved zoning bylaw amendment in the downtown place type. And then there are other housekeeping amendments to the plan, and these range from typos and non-substantive changes, formatting changes, some proposed amendments to the policies to improve clarity or to correct specific policies. And then there's map corrections, and those start on pages 21, 22 for the text, but also the maps starting on page 23 of your agenda. I just wanted to also note that there are two items that are also part of the appeals. The first one being, if you see it on top of page 14 of your agenda, it's an official plan amendment that you dealt with, and it was may deal with one policy matter out of a bigger appeal by Sifton. And the other one is the downtown, in the downtown place type, the zoning bylaw amendment, and that would deal specifically with the specific building heights in the downtown. And that OPA or ZBA is on page 17. So page 14 and page 17 dealing with those specific items. Now, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the maps themselves. We've prepared the 4 maps. You have more detailed maps on your in your agenda package, as I mentioned. But so map 1, 5, 6, and 7 all show the OPAs, the downtown zoning bylaw amendment, as well as these map corrections that I mentioned. I just want to go over a few of the map corrections with you, just so you can get an understanding of the nature of them. On maps 1 and 5, there are 4 corrections that deal with revising line work to be consistent with the environmental sensitive areas and potential environmental sensitive areas as a result of draft approved plan of subdivision, to correct some line work that we've since dealt with as part of the staff review. And then there's 1 map label on map 5 that's an addition, as well as there's other place type corrections on map 1. And these would be making sure that we're in better alignment with what's in the current official plan, as well as to be aligned with the Southwest Area Secondary Plan. And again, these are blatant errors that that we had made, and we want to rectify those. Map 6 to the hazards and natural resources. There's 1 new addition, and that's dealing with the Kettle Creek floodplain mapping. And we received that back in December. So because of timing, it wasn't something that wasn't caught. As well as map 7, dealing with, these are all the official plan amendments that council had dealt with since June of last year. So again, these are new additions, as well as the zoning bylaw amendment for the downtown place type. And tonight we're asking that, recommending that these proposed amendments be endorsed and forwarded to the board for consideration. So for our next steps, we're going to continue to prepare for the September pre-hearing conference. And through that, we'll continue to meet with the appellants and subject experts throughout the summer. Our intent is to continue to scope the issues and identify possible resolutions to those issues. And as I mentioned before, there will be a future report from legal services regarding potential amendments to resolve the appeals and other related matters. Thank you. Happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Looking to committee for speakers. Actually, no, technical questions is what I'm looking for. Seeing none, we can go to members of the public. Mr. Miosa, not at all? Okay, going once, twice, 3 times. We'll take a motion to close the PPM. Moved by Councillor Cassidy, seconded by Mayor Brown. We can open the vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 5-0.
Committee, looking for speakers. Councillor, no speakers. Well, I say that's a good presentation, yeah. Seeing none, we can take a motion. Moved by Mayor Brown, seconded by Councillor Cassidy. Opening the vote.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Any additional business, anyone? No? Seeing none, we can take a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Hopkins, seconded by Mayor Brown. All in favor? Motion carries. Have a great afternoon, everyone.